Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back to another video. We are currently 9 weeks and 1 day pregnant.
Woohoo.
Whoop whoop. And we had our first face-to-face midwife appointment today.
Yeah, which is quite early according to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And even from what they told us initially when we phoned to say we were pregnant, we thought the face-to-face was closer to 12 weeks. So
I can't remember what we've updated you on, but just to kind of rewind back, we were told by our clinic to, once we got our positive pregnancy test, to let our GP know, and that the GP or the midwife clinic, whatever you would call them, one of them would be assigned to us. So we did that pretty quickly. I think probably that's why we got one so quickly.
yeah, possibly we did it early.
We let them know really early. And they said, well, so the GP said, we don't deal with this, speak to this, here's a phone number to ring for midwife. So we rang that, spoke to the...
That was a really weird phone call. Phoning and going, I'm just kind of phoning to say that I'm pregnant and I'm not really sure what to do.
Yeah.
It was like really weird.
And the woman was just like, oh, congratulations, here's a phone number.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, and that was it.
Yeah, it was really odd. And then when we phoned that number, it was just a voicemail, which was then even odder, kind of going, hi, so
this is my name and I'm pregnant and this is my number, okay, bye. It was really weird.
Very, very strange.
So they rang us back and just said, like, you know, this is what will happen. We will have a midwife phone you for your booking appointment on the phone. The woman who rang us was like, I will be your midwife. This is who I am. I will phone you at, I think they said like 10. I think she said 10 weeks before the 12-week scan, basically.
Yeah, I thought on that first phone call they had said that it's all everything that they do is changed because of COVID, and that they have some midwives who are currently shielding. So they're doing all the initial booking appointments. So one of them would phone, and I'm sure she said one of them would phone around 10 weeks.
Yeah.
And then once that had happened, she would then make an appointment to see us to do bloods and stuff, and that would probably be closer to 12 weeks.
Yeah, that's right, actually, that is right.
That was kind of what they said, wasn't it? And last week.
Last Monday, so 8 weeks exactly.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? That's right, yeah. The phone goes and it's midwife.
Yeah.
One of the ones that's shielding for the booking, not a booking appointment.
It is the booking appointment. Yeah.
Appointment? So I stupidly was like, she's like, can you talk? And I was like, yeah, at work, thinking, oh, it's fine, it's just a 5-minute conversation, not realising that she wanted like the history of me and my family and my grandparents and Jess's family and Jess's grandparents and everything that's ever happened in our entire lives. And I was like, oh, okay. So I started to answer all the questions, and then I had to go and get Jess because I got stuck.
Yeah.
When we got into all the family history, but it was quite a good appointment. She was lovely, and she just all the basic stuff, like about my health, you know, any kind of blood problems,
family history,
heart problems, you know, anything like that, any cancer, you know, just imagine if you're filling in a health questionnaire. It was kind of one of those. And then wanted the same information about Jess, and then about our families, our parents, all that kind of good stuff.
She also asked you about a bit about our relationship, didn't she?
No, the weird question that she asked was about our childhoods. Did we both have good childhoods growing up? Which
she also never asked me, so she asked Sheila to comment on my childhood, which I thought was funny.
It was just and it was random in the middle of, you know, have you ever had cancer? Did you have a good childhood? Do you have heart disease? Like it was like that. It was really weird.
And we do understand why. Like, we understand that she's asking that because, like, childhood history, if there's been issues and stuff that could influence, you know, who we are now, who we are as parents, trauma, mental health issues, stuff like that. So we understand why, but it was a bit... She did ask Sheila about my childhood, which obviously Sheila was not there for.
I just said it was fine.
Which it was, so that was fine.
I've heard enough stories to know it was all right.
Yeah. So no, that was fine. And they asked me, the same kind of questions, just about family history and stuff.
Yeah, that's when I had to get Jess, because I don't know if her grandparents have had X, Y, or Z.
I didn't know either. Like, they ask you, like, any history of this? You're like, not that I know of. Any history of this? Not that I know of. But it was fine. And
asked what medication I was on.
Oh, yeah.
So I told her about every single vitamin I'm taking and completely
none of the
forgot
IVF
about
meds.
the IVF drugs.
So we had to. That didn't occur to you till like, was it the next day?
Yeah, no, it was either the next day or the day after.
And
I
she was
suddenly
like,
went, oh, I forgot. So then I had to text her and go, sorry, I have no idea how I managed to do
but
this.
luckily she gave us her like work number to
Yeah.
text her on or whatever, which was nice.
Yeah, they've both done that, to be
Yeah.
fair, which has been good. But yeah, so
And Sheila was laughing at them because they put lots of kisses on the ends of their messages, which is very, very sweet, but it also made you laugh.
I just find it funny when people that you've like literally never ever met
Send you kisses.
send you kisses. Yeah.
Should I be jealous?
Yeah. I give you kisses.
No thanks.
Aw.
Save them for the midwife. Okay.
She doesn't want my kisses.
Oh, stop. Do you like her fringe? I cut her fringe today. I'm going to assume you're saying yes. So yeah, so that was good. And then we weren't sure actually about today.
Well,
So
yeah, so
when did she message you?
I think it was 2 days later, 3 days after that
Phone call. So last week.
the actual midwife texted and said,
The actual midwife as opposed
Well,
to
like,
the 10 midwife who's
the one
working
that's
from home.
assigned to us as our midwife, text to say, could she come to the house for an appointment, which again threw me because I assumed we'd be going to her from what she'd said before. But anyway, could she come to the house for the initial appointment just to do like bloods and stuff? So I was like, sure. So she turned up this morning, which was nice. Meant we didn't have to go anywhere.
Yeah, and that's what she did. Bloods and stuff.
Lots of bloods, and then one arm gave up, so she had to do the other arm because my right arm said, no, you're not getting any more blood. It just stopped.
It was
Like,
weird.
Just stopped bleeding.
So they took 3 vials of blood, and actually it was only after they took them that Sheila then said, what are these for? And then she said, oh, it's for like check for Hep B, Hep C, etc. But
Syphilis, HIV.
But we've already had all those for the clinic,
Yeah.
so I don't know, do they do them every time or do they just
I
do
don't
them?
know, but the bit I liked about it that she also said was one of them was for like checking your iron levels and stuff like that, which I've not had done, so that'd be quite good as well.
To make sure that you're healthy.
Yeah.
You better be. There's all those healthy snacks I've been making.
And all the vitamins I've been taking.
Yeah.
Should be healthy.
You should be healthy. And your blood pressure was good because you were worried about that.
Just because I had high blood pressure a little bit in the past, so I was unsure, but she said it was perfect.
Yep. Yeah. So
it was all good. She was nice.
Yeah.
Quite chatty, quite friendly. Made us feel at ease.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot to tell you this. I did tell her that we filmed for YouTube.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. When you went to pee in the bottle. Oh, and I felt so awkward. Because actually, I have to say, and it was fine, but she paid no attention to me whatsoever. Yeah. Like, I did not need to be there. She was very much all about Sheila, very kind of like getting business done, which was fine. I guess she's busy and stuff. But I think in the clinic, they make more of an effort to be like, oh, and how are you? And are you excited? And like, they try and include me, whereas she did not. But it was fine. Like, she wasn't rude or anything. I just noticed it.
She was here for like 10 minutes or something. Maybe a bit longer.
She was here a bit longer than that. But yeah, she wasn't here long. I'm not really complaining. I just noticed it. Yeah. So the reason I noticed it was because when you left, it was so awkward. And I was just like, hi. And I can't remember why I said it about filming. Oh, because the last thing Sheila had said before she left the room was that we had our scan last night. Yeah. Which you should have seen before this if I'm doing my job at editing. And she said, so Sheila had said, oh yeah, we had our scan, it was lovely, blah, 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 and then left the room. So then I just was like on awkward autopilot being like, yes, the scan was lovely, it was really fun, and we got a video and we had to pay for the video because we're not allowed to film in there. And she was like, yeah, you can't usually film. And I was like, yeah, but we film our whole journey for YouTube. And I was just on this like bit of awkward, you know, when you just get that way and you don't really know what to say. And she was just looking at me like, okay. She did not even comment on any of that. And I just said, yeah, so we have it filmed. We wanted the video for that and for ourselves, because who wouldn't want the video? And then Sheila came back and I was like,
all of that.
Knackered. But she was just like, okay. She was nice to me. Like, she was nice. She was lovely. But it was awkward for me. So yeah, that was fun. Fine. She wasn't here very long. And she said that the next thing will be...
So the 12-week scan.
Yeah.
And then after the 12-week scan, she said she would phone around week 16.
16.
Which is normally a face-to-face. Because of COVID, they've reduced that one to a phone call. So she'll give us a phone, check how we're doing, make sure everything's okay. Then we'll have the 20-week scan. and then she'll see us
Around 24
around
weeks.
24.
You.
Yeah.
She'll see you. She doesn't care about seeing me.
Around 24, 25 weeks.
Yeah.
Just to... I don't
Yeah.
know.
And
I
then
actually
that's
don't
where
know
I
why.
pipe back in about like viability and how I know about this, because I used to work in neonatal unit and I know that 24 weeks is really important and I'm really excited to get to that point. And she was just like, okay, bye. Packing her bag, like. And so that was my contribution.
But a lot more than my contribution. I just sat there going, okay.
You contributed your
Okay.
blood and urine.
I did. Lots of blood.
Yeah. So happy that
And
that's...
by the way, I haven't bruised. Unlike some people when they give
Have you
blood.
not? Well, how do you know it's under a plaster?
I haven't bruised.
Can I pull it off? Do it slowly.
It's not even sore.
Aw.
No bruise.
Gross. I changed my mind. I don't want it.
Might have bruised the other arm right enough. I don't think so.
Yeah, both arms. How does that not hurt you? Is it sad that I really wanted it to hurt you?
A little bit,
Does that
yeah.
say something about me as a person?
A little bit.
I didn't really.
Or how you currently feel about me in this moment of time.
I didn't. I thought you put that on my iPad. She didn't. She put her minging plasters on her phone.
Fold it up.
I didn't actually want it to hurt you. I just thought it'd be fun to kind of tease you and then rip it off.
Luckily it wasn't sore though. They weren't the really sticky ones.
Luckily for you.
And for you. That was
our
dog.
dog. Can you see her?
She's terrible for burping.
The other thing to say, actually, which has just been reminded by a YouTube commenter,
Yes.
who advised us to talk to our health board about what we get offered in terms of the harmony test from our last video, or a couple of videos ago when we were talking about that. We spoke to our midwife today about that, and she advised us to get both if we can afford to, because the harmony test is more accurate than the NHS version, which is called the Cubs test. And the Cubs test tests for the same things but isn't as accurate, but it also tests for
PAP-A hormone.
yeah, which we think is the PAP something virus.
Don't know what I don't know. I just remember that's what she said. I'm sure she said PAP-A.
Yeah, and
if that's low or high, I can't remember which.
yeah,
They would encourage you to take a low level of aspirin,
which we already do.
which we're already doing from the clinic. So,
By we,
yeah.
I mean Sheila.
Yeah.
So basically, long story short, the Cubs test is similar to harmony test, but is less accurate.
Yeah.
The harmony test is more accurate and also gives us the sex. So that's it. That's what's next for us, is that potentially the harmony test next week. I also really want to find out the sex, but I don't want to pay that amount of money just to find out the sex, because we will obviously eventually find out the sex anyway.
Yeah.
So it's too much money to pay for just that. So we need to work that out and check, but I really want to find out.
And I don't mind either way, like whether we find out or not. I'd like to know, because it takes away some of that curiosity. But
yeah, and
I
for
could live
naming
without
and
knowing
stuff
as well.
Yeah. So that's all from us. I'm going to wrap it up because I have just finished editing loads of videos and they were really, really, really long, and I really hated myself for how much that I rambled. So I'm going to do a really good job of wrapping this one up and say thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next week to discuss our harmony test.
Oh.